Welcome everybody to another episode of Books and Betches, not to be confused with Books and
Duchesses?
Okay. Duchess. I'm Kristen, and with me I have
Erica?
Maria.
Oh, you said that.
I
like
know
it was
my
a
name.
Question.
Well, we were talking about names before. Now I'm not sure.
That's fair. This is a book podcast.
Sick. Book podcast.
What?
We swear, we spoil, and we talk about sex,
And we suck at it.
This week we did a historical romance. Sorry about that. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it was
No,
requested
this was
before.
highly requested.
I'm just kidding.
I don't know if this book specifically was.
This book was not requested, but it was recommended when we
Okay.
asked about
like historical
yeah.
fictions.
Oh,
I
or
think it's one of
historical
those
romances.
that's like it's newer released, I think, in the last couple of years, and people tend to like it.
The book that we're talking about today is Bringing Down the Duke by
By Evie Dunmore.
E.V.
No, Evie.
Oh.
Space
like
Dunmore.
Evie.
Evie or Evie?
Evie.
I say
I say
Evie.
I like
Evie, but
Evie.
like spelled
Evie.
Evie.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did we hear about this book?
I think Discord for me. I've seen the title before. I'm pretty sure Kate might have mentioned this to me too, being
I was
like,
gonna
"Hey,
ask.
if you..." She hasn't read it yet.
Oh,
Though.
really?
But she was like, "Oh, if you're looking for one, because we weren't going to do any Bridgerton, and that's what she would know."
Well, that was what literally as I'm reading the first few chapters, I had to Google it, and I asked Google if this was part of the Bridgerton series.
No, it's just historical romances tend to all feel the same.
Oh, is that what it is? I was like, oh, I was picturing the Duke
Yeah.
from Bridgerton.
Yeah.
And I was like, this must be in the same
No,
world.
it's just it's the tropes. It's the vibes of a historical romance. It's
that
just
makes
how
sense.
it is.
That makes sense. And I looked it up. They have the cute little cartoon covers.
Yeah.
I like the covers.
You like the cover?
Yeah, I think they're cool.
You want to describe it?
Where do we stand on cartoon covers?
I don't care.
Some of them are trash, but some of them are decent.
Why is
I don't
everybody doing it?
It's just like the fad.
It's the fad.
Yeah.
It's the fad of
Do
like.
you think we'll like
you can
switch out
take
of
that
it?
on your subway car and no one's gonna know that you're
Good
reading
point.
a smutty ass book. Although those who are in the lore know.
That's actually a really
That
good
you
one.
are.
It's like handwritten, kind of like large blue. The cover itself is like a putrid yellow, fucking disgusting.
Yellow.
But
you like this cover?
the horse on it is teal.
Teal blue. Yeah.
The girl is all like monotone,
Magenta.
magenta. The guy is orange, I guess.
Yeah.
One would say. The backdrop is like of a castle, and it's kind of got like a sketch to it versus like the cartoon portion of the guy and the girl. Yeah, it's not my favorite cover. I'll tell you that. I think the other ones in the series are nicer.
Yeah.
But I don't like yellow.
The colors of it is.
I don't
are
like
not
yellow.
my
I don't like
favorite.
yellow.
I don't like yellow either. It's ambiguous though. Like you get to kind of come up with your own way of picturing these people, which I like. That's the thing that I like about cartoons.
No, they're faceless.
Yeah.
They're just color.
Yeah.
So you
They're
kind of
just,
get
like,
to
the
do
outline of them,
like when
kinda.
it's a cover of like a sexy guy, like then
You can only picture that guy.
yeah. So it's nice when
I find it funny when it's sometimes these men on these covers and they're not described like that in the book.
Oh,
ever.
yeah, that
like,
drives
they're
me
not.
crazy.
Yeah.
I will say though, like I really love the alien ones because they're absolutely fucking out of pocket. Like,
You
the
do
covers,
kind of kitschy covers.
the covers. No, I hate them, but I love the books. I'll show you what I like. So this is Ruby
This
Dixon's.
is so off topic, but okay.
This is Ruby Dixon's like newest book, and it's just like absolutely fucking asinine, right? Like it's just like a guy with
What
it's
is
like a real
that?
guy with like fake cartoon scales on him, like colored blue.
Someone
like,
took
just-
Photoshop and went crazy.
Yeah, like just Photoshop. It's disgusting. It's heinous. Heinous.
5 stars.
You don't like
Lo-
that?
love it.
Oh, you love it.
Heinous.
I got
No, I like the ones that look like they're like straight out of the 90s.
Yeah.
Like Buffy.
Yeah.
Like, so Jeannie Frost books are like my favorite, right? Because they're just like this
That's cool.
Send me both of
absolute.
these so I can put them in the YouTube video.
But like, like you know what I mean? Like,
oh, that's
just
so
like
Buffy.
straight 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking
Yeah.
like
I love that.
camp.
But could you see
guess.
something like that on a historical fiction?
I know.
You could.
Bringing
back
down
in the
the
day,
Duke?
would have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Tessa Dare has some covers.
I
that are
could
sort
see
of
if it's
that.
like royalty, right, at a window, right, and there's like
No, hold on.
shadows.
Let me show you one
I
Tessa
think you
Dare's.
could do. I think you could pull it off. but it's not like the like that. This like sometimes like this series, Jeannie Frost, like
At Gravesend.
I think people would love this series, but they're so turned off by these covers.
See, that's the thing. A cover really goes a long way.
That's what I mean. Like I think
we
people
all judge by a cover.
People see this and they see the fucking weird ass girl on the cover and they're like, this looks like it's in like the 90s, and it's like, well, you probably
this
would
came out in
love
2017.
That's the Duchess Deal.
Duchess
By
Deal by
Tessa
Tessa
Dare.
Dare.
Yeah,
Girl
like
meets
that's
Duke.
kind of the same.
That's that vibe.
Yeah.
But it
that
makes you think like that looks like your mom's romance novel.
Exactly.
But this came out in 2017.
Then we all agree that the cartoon was fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
So historical romance. Obviously, I have not read. I don't know if I've read any of it. No,
this is my first one.
This is your first
one,
batch.
Like
of,
true.
Yeah.
Like
I've read
modern.
a couple.
Wait, you too?
I've never read a.
I mean, you read Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah, that counts.
Yeah.
But that's a classic.
No,
I
I
guess.
mean like a new age one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
Like a newer novel. Okay, and this came out in
Oh, fuck.
20 something, right?
I just closed my iPad.
Sure.
My laptop.
Sure.
So I love period films. Like
Do you?
I love like
She does.
I love period. I
Her
watch
favorite is
everything.
Pride and Prejudice.
I love Pride and Prejudice. I loved Sandition, which was the TV show. I love The Gilded Age, like all of those fucking shows.
2019 this book came out.
Okay.
I eat all of them up.
I like it when it's about like Game of Thrones stuff like that. If it's like
That's historical
or
fantasy.
knights or like, you know, shit like that is cool, like knights, but like dukes and the monarchy, I fucking hate it. I hate kings, queens, all that shit. I'm out. You like that?
No, I love the glamour of it all, like Marie Antoinette and like all of these, like seeing it on screen is just so cool.
And that's what I was thinking when I was reading this book. I read it before both of them did, and I thought neither of you would like it that much because Kristen is not about it, and Erica would prefer it on screen.
yeah,
Of course.
So
Some thrillers.
Yeah, I've read a couple of historical romance again because I was doing this thing a couple years. Well, not couple now. It's like 7 years ago. Where I was asking everyone their favorite books, and I was trying to read their favorite books. And when I came across Kate's, it was Bridgerton. So I read one of the Bridgerton novels first.
And you like those, right?
The one I read.
I liked Bridgerton.
Fair enough.
I mean, I didn't the
show.
The Duke and I.
Be specific.
That book, yeah, the show.
The show.
Yeah.
The book for season 1, I did not read, and I don't think I will. But the book for season 2, I loved.
Yeah.
Ugh, I love.
I don't like the guy.
Oh, I love him. He's in a new show on Paramount right now. With that other guy from White Collar, I think it is.
Oh. Well, let's do a 60-second, and then we could talk about bringing down the Duke. Yeah? 60-second? Who's doing it?
I still
Maria?
find him attractive.
Maria, you're doing it. Maria's going to do the 60-second. All right.
Not fair.
If you're new to this podcast, we do this thing where we attempt to explain an entire plot summary of a book in 60 seconds or less.
Oh,
This
no.
week, Maria's
No, fuck.
doing
name.
Bringing Down the Duke.
I forgot her name.
Regardless
Again.
if she's
I
ready or
didn't
not.
know her name. For
Don't say it.
60% of the book.
I still don't know her name.
Annabelle.
No,
Yeah,
that doesn't sound right.
it is.
Yeah, it's Annabelle.
Until he started saying it like lustingly, I did
I
not.
didn't even
call her
get to
Miss
that.
Archer. You call her Miss
I
Archer.
didn't
all the
even
time.
get to the lust. All right.
Can you tell everyone you didn't finish it?
I
You were
didn't
doing
do it-
so well.
I didn't finish this book. I think I made it 15%, but I fell asleep 3 times.
Shush.
I have a hot take with this.
I fell asleep so much that I missed things that I was like, I don't even know what's going
Should I
on.
say it now or should I wait?
Wait, let's do this. All right, you ready, Maria?
It's not a hot take about the book though.
Oh,
Yeah, sure.
let's
I
just
think
do
I got
this.
it.
Okay.
All right, Bringing Down the Duke, 60 seconds or less. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Annabelle Archer is like the daughter of a man who passed away, but she didn't get to keep all of her actual inheritance because she's a woman. So she's been sort of like the servant in her home. She has been accepted into Oxford, and she wants to be a learned woman, so she's gonna head off to Oxford. While there, she's part of the suffragette movement of women's rights, and she bumps into the Duke. And he's known for being like heartless or whatever. And so the lady from the suffragettes was like, hey, you met him for a couple minutes. So you tried to like get him for our cause. And so they keep like running into each other and having these moments and slowly falling in love while she's trying to get rights. At the end, he's like, oh, I love you. So you should be my mistress. And she's like, I'll never be a mistress because she has a bad past with the man who like, used her. And then what happened afterwards?
I'm not looking at the time.
You don't even look at the time.
10
Nice.
seconds.
They eventually end up together. He's like, fuck it, I'll just leave my title and just marry you.
The end.
The most
That's
absolutely
how I guessed it would end. I said I have a whole guess of how it would end because,
It's pretty...
There was only one option.
Well, obviously I knew they were going to get together, but I figured, like, because bringing down the Duke, you asked why it was called that, was because her mission was for the rights, right? It was about the suffrage.
Like
her original mission.
But him having his dukeship did not really affect her.
What was his he had no
it wasn't
ability.
really bringing down the patriarchy. It was just
At all,
adding.
But he was
rights.
trying to get his place back, wasn't he?
Yeah, so he lost his estate, his home, or was lost by his father through gambling. Like he lost it in a bet or some shit, which is
my God, is that
God.
not fucking the most overused thing in
Right?
historical romance?
Yeah,
Is that
somebody's a fucking gambler because that's the only there was only two fucking back then you couldn't be an alcoholic.
You could.
You
but
definitely could.
Nobody
in
was
a gambling hall.
Yeah.
but a gambler that was the fucking.
So he lost his estate to a gambling bet. So
historically
he's been
accurate.
working. So he works alongside the queen.
What were they gambling on?
Anything.
Rich people, man. They just do
You
shit.
could gamble
What
on
do
anything.
you gamble on?
So yeah, the queen asks him and says, "Hey, I want you to get the Tories on our side. Like, do something to help with our political cause."
I
and
can
he's like-
understand now though gambling.
Today in today's
Like,
age,
do you know how easy it is just to
Oh yeah,
place
y'all.
bets on your
Every
phone?
sports season, y'all in your fantasy
Yeah,
leagues
it's crazy.
I'm not-
immediately.
Sorry, that was
yes,
just
you
my-
are.
Not
You have your-
gambling.
No, but
We're just
you
doing
win
it for
at the
fun.
end.
Yeah.
That's gambling.
So the Duke was trying to get the place back. So is
right.
it
So he was
he's
working alongside the queen, and at the same time, she's trying to
sabotage.
not sabotage him.
No, but that she's trying to like change the course of how women are treated, right?
Yeah, she
but
she
that doesn't
wants
affect
she wants
him.
Parliament to
True.
pass a different law with the Property Act. I can't. I don't know. The full
Basically,
terms.
she asked him to cross his party line.
basically
Like that like in
later on.
in,
Yeah.
well,
in the
no,
beginning, they have like
So
a
technically-
enemy to
for
lovers type of
her
thing.
for him to sponsor the bill that she wanted him to, that was against his party.
Yeah.
Like his party's
So maybe
position on that was against that.
changing
so
the
she
Duke?
was asking him to cross a party line, and in back then to do that, you basically were like excommunicated from your party.
That's pretty big then.
yeah, it was a pretty fucking big ass.
Yeah. So bringing down the Duke makes sense to me. Or maybe
but, like,
changing
Why
the
are we
Duke.
so
me-
harping on the
Because
title?
she
because
doesn't
the
like
title
it.
doesn't fucking make sense.
And to me it does.
Oh, I didn't care too much about the title.
I'm just saying, like,
but
he,
like,
she
what?
is,
Where are we bringing the Duke?
should
down?
I have
thought
been
it-
breaking down the
I
Duke?
thought it meant like breaking him down because he was not gonna like marry.
it's
I mean, he had a
bringing-
wife before, but
Should
he
it have
divorced.
been breaking down the Duke?
breaking down the Duke.
That's actually
I
pretty
don't know.
good. That's pretty solid.
fucking- Maybe it
I
was
just felt like bringing down the Duke. Like I was like, there has to be 8 other books
coercing
called
the Duke.
this.
I don't know, like literally anything other
Something
than
with the Duke always in the title.
Can somebody explain to me what the fuck a Duke is?
This is where we have to
I-
ask Kate.
no.
It's
I don't
it's-
even want to get into this
it's-
conversation.
it's
I need
a
to
whole-
know.
There's a hierarchy.
Oh wait,
Can
I'm
you
gonna-
be a
wait,
king if you're a
This is
Duke?
my like hot fucking it. People were mad about us when we talked about like skipping pages.
Oh, yeah,
books
They're
and
mad at
shit.
you. I wasn't
don't-
part of that.
What? Yeah, because they watched 10 seconds of a fucking clip on.
And it was
YouTube,
cut in a way
whatever.
where it sounded like I was agreeing with you for the record. And for now, I want to say I absolutely
Okay.
was not.
So this book was so
okay.
slow and so boring for me, and like there was a lot of like stupid details that I didn't need to know. There's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of mini storylines and like plot lines and stuff that was like, well, like I don't really care about this, and I did not enjoy my ride. So like,
No.
but I wanted to finish it, and then so what ended up happening? I skipped probably like pages of 5, like increments. Okay, so like
neither of you read this
no,
book.
no, I read it.
No, you
I read
didn't.
it.
You
I
didn't
read it.
hear
I
that.
read
You
enough
didn't
of it.
read it.
I would tell you I read probably 60% of it.
That's not reading the book. That's so
So
far
listen,
from.
so listen.
So did
listen,
I.
Listen,
Let her
listen.
finish, let her finish.
So I read about 60% of
That's
the
the
book.
same as stopping
Let
at
her
60.
finish.
I
It's
can't.
fine.
I
It's
can't. I'm
fine,
so
though.
Let
mad.
her finish
It's
the
fine.
sentence.
I'm too mad.
I don't
Let
feel
her
like I
finish
like I
sentence.
missed much. Okay, so I'm like about 150 pages in, right? And I have been reading for a
100
good amount of
pages.
time at this point, and I'm like, wow, that like we must be towards the end of this book. I go and look at my like percentage thing. We're not even halfway. We're not even halfway.
It's a long book. I think it's
And
like
I was
100
like,
pages.
what the
Really?
fuck
Yeah.
is in this book? So then I'm really like,
Now you're skipping
Ripped.
10
now
pages.
I'm cranking through this thing. And I'm a pretty good speed reader. Like I know how to like scan a page and stuff like that. Like I'm pretty good at it.
None of this book.
I definitely read a lot of it because I spent hours reading fucking a long ass historical romance. Anyways, so I did previously say that if I skip too much of a book, I will not mark it as read on my Goodreads.
Oh, good. So you didn't mark this one as read.
I did. And let me explain why. And this is where things get a little dicey.
You just said you read 60% of this book.
This is where things get a little dicey. Okay.
You're really gonna enrage the internet with this one.
I know.
This will be our social clip.
Chat, clip this.
Chat. What chat?
Who's chat?
We're streamers now.
Go on.
Okay, so
I need to hear this
Imagine if we
ridiculous.
streamed these
so
podcasts.
I don't give a shit about what everyone else thinks about my Goodreads. My Goodreads is my own reading journal.
See, that's a hot take in itself, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I mean,
so
Goodreads is a
I'm with
shitty
you.
platform
to
no
me,
matter what.
Goodreads
agree.
is mine.
I agree 1,000%,
mine.
but
That
there are
is
people
mine.
out there that'll beg to differ. I guarantee it.
So okay,
I think it depends
so
on who you
for
are.
me,
Yeah, I
it's
agree.
like I want to know how many books I've read, and at a quick glance, right?
Okay.
So I've been in a reread like phase, and what I do sometimes I'll reread the full book from like first
Start
page
to finish. Yep.
to finish. But there are some books where I'm like, I don't really want to like.
I feel
I
you.
don't really like the beginning or like
I feel
whatever
you.
it was.
Yep.
So I'll start, I don't know, 100 pages in, 50 pages in, whatever that looks like, and I'll read the rest of the book. So there are a few books that I do that for, and I don't feel comfortable marking it as a reread if I don't read a majority of the book.
Good,
right?
good,
Okay.
good. Yeah.
We all
Back
agree
to
there.
this book now.
So back to this book. I read a very large chunk of a book a couple days prior, but I didn't read the whole book. So I feel in my heart of hearts that the
Combining them?
the page counts is really what matters to me.
This makes
So
no
I felt-
sense.
So in my, I know. I think it's neurodivergence.
I don't think you can blame it on that.
I put the pages that I read from the other book into this, and I was like, all right, I read a full book.
So you
The math is not mathing on that.
That's girl math.
book-
girl book
That's
math.
not even girl math. That is
Erica
correct math.
That's Erica math.
That's Erica math.
Okay. What would the difference be of me stopping? Let's just say I made it to 40% of the book of me, or let's say I made it to 60%.
But I did read the last half of the book.
Let's just say
Like
I
fully.
Okay.
okay.
Read the last sentence. And that's
Yeah,
it.
let's say I read every single word up to 60% of the book and I stopped, and then I marked it as read on Goodreads. That would make you mad, wouldn't it? Arguably, what you did, way worse.
I know, but I think I read enough of like. Okay, think of it this way.
Actually, way worse because
Wait,
you
wait,
put
wait,
another
wait,
book
wait.
into it, which has nothing to do with the
Think
book.
of it this way, right? You paint every wall in this room,
this
right?
is great. I'm so into this. Yeah, go on.
You paint every single wall in
We
this
painted
room.
only this wall here.
No,
so
I
you
know,
can
I
use
know,
this
I
as an
know.
example.
We paint every single wall
Okay.
in this room,
All of them.
right?
Sure.
But I only paint 70% of each wall.
Sure.
So I only painted 70% of the room, but most of the room is done. So it kind of looks pretty done. And like
It would
the
look
coverage,
horrible.
the coverage is there.
You know it would look like ass.
Versus if you just painted one wall and a 1 wall and a half.
It would look
Those
better.
are fun.
It would look more complete.
Okay.
No, I think when you
But look
Cover
at the room
more.
right now. We only painted this one wall.
I know, but then
But in
let's say you painted half
retrospect,
of the
people
other
are
one.
only seeing this one wall. So
Well,
it's
that-
all about perspective.
This is wild to me. This is. And you know what's funny? I feel like we tend to get on Erica's case about
not
stuff,
good.
right? You and I are usually on the same page, but then we'll go on Discord and everyone's like, I agree with Erica. Bet money afterwards. Everyone's gonna be like, I think Erica's right. I think
There's
Erica's
no way.
sound.
because
There's
you
no
need
way.
coverage.
There's
you need
no
to
way.
like coverage. If you
No
know
one's going
six-
to agree that
if
reading
you-
2 separate books equals
And
reading
combining
one.
them.
No one's going to agree with
I
that,
think
Maria.
What was the second book? What was the genre?
Yeah, I need to hear that.
it was. I mean, obviously, it was not historical romance.
Okay.
Okay. That
Point-
makes total sense.
I
What is
think
it? Point in case? What is it?
point in case. But I think being able to spread out what you read in a book cover. Okay,
Let's
here,
move
okay,
on.
no.
Let's move
Here's
on.
the
We must move on.
here's the
must
singular
move
point
on.
that makes me right. Okay,
makes her
is that you did not read all of every part of each act. So you don't know what happened in Act 3.
Neither did you.
Yes, I did.
You didn't read every part of each act.
I read a little bit of each act.
That's not what you just said.
No, I said I read a little part of each act. You didn't even read Act 3.
She goes, you didn't read every part of each act.
No, I said
heard what you said.
didn't read Act 3.
So
you have no idea what
you
happened
didn't
in Act
read
3.
Act 1, 2, and 3.
I read enough of it to understand what happened in each act.
So had I just skipped to the end and skimmed it, I would have read the book?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'll do that next time.
Yes, that's why you should read the last couple chapters. That's the fucking bare minimum. If you stop reading
Maria, she's coming at me.
a book, one of our books, you should at the bare minimum read the last 4 chapters.
No, I just say DNF. Like, I'm not into it. It's not for me, and I move on.
But at least you would know what happened.
I already knew. I didn't have to read it to know that they get together in the end.
Yeah, of course you already fucking knew because every these books end the same.
You don't even read these books. She's making such crazy claims.
Read enough of it.
You
to
said
know
this
what
is your
happened.
first historical romance.
Yeah.
Didn't you?
Yeah.
But you're always like, these books, this always happens. How do you know that if you've never read another?
I meant romance books. They all
Okay,
had
okay,
happy ever
okay.
afters.
You are delulu.
Maria, did you?
I think there's gonna
That's
be
a fucking
a
understatement.
strong support group for me.
everyone
There's
likes
no
you
way.
best.
There's no
That's not true.
possible way that anyone will support you in this. I'll
They
quit.
are. I see it happening.
I will quit.
I see it happening.
If somebody says, yeah, if you read half of one book and half of another, that equals one
Imagine
of
if
the...
you put that on Instagram right now, no context.
Do it.
I
We don't want to go through that
Yeah.
again.
I need the bros to come at her. It's
The
really,
men will
it's
be
really
like,
humbling.
women
They'll be
again.
like, you don't read books.
Women don't read.
Maria,
Yes.
did you like this book?
I did.
Did you?
Oh.
Yeah. So here's what I liked about this book. I agree that it's very
Boring?
not boring. It had its moments. It had its moments where it was boring 1,000%. But the thing about these books is that I know that going in,
Yeah, true.
and it's the genre.
Yeah.
Just like how in dark romance there are things that we don't like because it's the genre.
True.
Yeah.
Same for historical romance. So
Yeah.
historical romance, it's not a lot about the on-page, romance of it. It's more of like the unsaid things between the characters and what they do with each other.
Interesting.
Apart from each other, how they think about each other, what they say to other people about each other within
Right.
the book. I find that to be very pretty, and I like that kind of like storytelling with romance. I'm very much like, I love the intimacy outside of the intimacy. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I like that.
So that's what I liked about this book. I think their characters felt very real to me. I think he feels like the quintessential Duke.
Yeah.
Has
That's
the
why I was
weight
picturing
of the
that
world
guy.
on his shoulders,
Yeah.
has to carry the family name,
It's
has
like, what do you do?
a younger
what is
brother
a
that
Duke?
doesn't want to do anything. Like it's common trope. What I liked about this book that was different, in my opinion, was the political side of it and the women's
suffrage,
rights
yeah.
side of it.
See,
because
that's the thing that I don't
that's
care
the one
for.
thing I don't like about historical romance novels is
Yeah.
how women are treated and what they're forced to deal with as women in
I
the
thought it
time
was
period.
I thought it was an interesting
liked
aspect.
that we had a woman that's like, I think I deserve rights.
Yeah. I think that was an interesting. So I gave this a 3, a hard 3 though.
Okay.
I think I would have given it a 4, and if I had like, I think if the romance started a little bit earlier in the book,
Yeah.
I think it took a while to get there.
Mhm.
And then my other big thing that really, really bumped me from a 3 or from a 4 to a 3, I felt like he needed to pine another 50 pages.
Okay. All right.
There was not enough from like when he was like, no, I can only make you a mistress to I'm going to give up everything I've ever owned.
I think it was a very fast switch.
I think it was 10 pages.
Yeah, it was
Maybe
pretty fast.
less.
Considering how long the book is, it's like 400 pages. I think,
Wow.
he could have definitely.
I can't imagine
so
that
what
many
I did
pages.
highlight, hold on, I did highlight one thing, and it is that pretty much. This is like I understand my eligibility is much diminished. My ancestral seat is lost. My persona non grata at court, and there are going to be very unflattering cartoons about me in the press for the next year or so. Also, as a divorcee, I cannot marry you in a church, but all I have left would be yours. What's left? Annabelle, if you will have me like this. Like, he's literally like, I'm a fucking loser. I lost my dukeship. I lost my position in court. People are going to make fun of me publicly. Like,
in
Dude,
cartoon form.
But that's love, right?
but all I have is yours. What is left?
I mean, he has some
his
estates.
heart, Erica.
Him?
His heart.
And then they're on a fucking yacht. Did they have yachts back then?
They had boats.
I don't
Boats
think
are
they
a
had
thing.
yachts. I don't think they had yachts.
Oh, well, a yacht is just a large boat.
I know, but like, wasn't it like boats, like
sailboats,
Mayflower boats? Like, what?
Were you picturing like a motorized like giant yacht?
No, but like, why would you
With, like,
casually
luxury?
be like laying on a
They
fucking
went on boats a lot back then.
Like like when I think of the boats that came over from England,
This isn't like the 1600s.
Yeah.
This is the 1800s.
Yeah.
still they did not have like plastic. Like, it's all fucking wood in there.
You know what I hate about this?
Boats are made out of wood, right?
You know what I
No,
hate
but I'm
about
saying
this?
like there's nothing nice.
I don't even know how to combat it because I don't know anything about.
I'm not a historian.
I'm not smart enough to be like, yeah, you idiot.
Okay, when was
sounds-
this? Like
what you
18,
I'm gonna search it now. When did yachts get
When was
invented?
plastic?
an 1800s yachts?
It is not
This
plastic.
is set in
Wouldn't it be
1879. 1879 is where we're set right now.
when we're boats.
1879, really?
Wait,
When-
okay, so
Yeah.
yachts in 1879. Let's see what comes up when you type in yachts in 1870. They were nice.
14th century is when yachts were invented, apparently.
Yeah. The
I mean,
Originally
this is,
called
like, not-
yacht ships, hunting boats, yachts were invented by the Dutch Navy in the 14th century to catch pirates and thieves quickly
Yeah, like
in
that's
shallower
not
waters.
vacation worthy. It's a pirate catcher.
In the 14th century.
yeah.
What century?
1879 is what, the 17th century?
They're like
I don't
They're all like
know.
steamboats though, aren't they? I understand where Erica's coming from for the first time ever.
I think this is something really weird.
No, I get it. Like you're
But there was,
picturing
the yacht was mentioned 14 times in this book.
However, if it's something like that, that's nice, right? Like
Is it?
Oh no, it's definitely like the 19th
They
century.
definitely didn't know how to swim. I wouldn't want to be on a boat if I didn't know how to swim.
What do you
They
mean
do
they
know
didn't
how
know
to
how to
swim.
There's
swim?
no way that they know how to swim.
What in what
19th
world
century is what we're
do you
in right
just
now.
assume?
YAH.
YACHT.
Yeah, YHCHT.
Oh
Why
my
is
god.
this not coming up? Oh,
I
okay.
listen. Don't talk to me about spelling.
Oh my god.
With
Four-
your family's history, I don't want to hear you say shit about my
four
spelling.
mentions of a yacht in this book.
How did you spell gluten the other day?
Shut up.
Tell me, how'd you spell it?
I missed the letter.
Spell it for the
What
spell it for
letter
everyone.
did you miss?
Spell it for everyone. How did you spell gluten the other
I
day?
can spell gluten.
Uh-huh.
GLUETEN.
Is that how you spell gluten?
Gluten. Gluten.
What?
How do you spell gluten?
GLUTEN.
Gluten.
Uh-huh.
What did I say?
Uh-huh.
I think I'm a little
You
dyslexic.
spelled glue.
Glutton?
So at the Halloween party, she
Gluten.
wrote glunt.
Oh, GLUTEN. That's what I said.
You said
All right,
G-L-U-E.
moving on with the yachts. I do agree they were a little weird. I didn't know
I
that
don't
they
think they
went.
know how to
Is that
swim
how it
either.
ended with them on a yacht?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think they just like.
So what do
so
they
I guess
do
he had a
now?
yacht.
What do they do now? He's not a duke
How does
anymore.
he have a yacht? How does he have this money if he doesn't have a dukeship?
He had a duke ship. Doesn't mean he just loses all his stuff.
I thought that you do.
He loses a title. He's no longer a duke, but
Which
he
we
still has
still
his
don't know
assets.
what
Where
that
are you
is.
getting that money?
I need
His
to know.
assets.
I need to know where the money's coming
What
from.
is a duke?
But I thought the dad fucking-
Generational wealth.
I thought the dad lost it all gambling.
No, he lost the estate, not
What
the
is
actual
ti-
money.
Like, what is the difference? I
the
don't
estate
understand.
is the building, the home.
Why not go somewhere else?
They
They
lost
did.
the home, but not the money.
Yeah.
If they have that much money, build a new castle. You know, this is me.
Why would you gamble your home
rich
away?
people? You know.
Also, when he became a duke, he took on the.
Yeah. Why would you
the-
gamble your home away? Don't you do that when you don't have the money?
I don't get
He's
it.
also like a landlord, so he does like farming
Oh,
too. So
oh.
it's a lot of. There's a lot that goes into these like lordships and
See,
stuff.
this is where I get lost. Okay, the whole
This is where I
king,
don't give a
queen,
shit.
the
This is
monarchy.
This is why I should call
It
Kate.
makes no sense to me, and this is not to offend or disrespect anybody, but it's bullshit, right? Because it's just you're born into it. Like you can't
Yeah.
like
well, that's like part of.
you're
like,
not earning any of it.
That's part of.
It's like the rich people in this
Yeah.
country.
To me, that doesn't make any Yeah, but they actually have. Okay, no, they don't. I
No.
learned this. See, I thought they had more power than they did. I thought that kings like made laws. and
No.
shit. I think back in the day they did.
They did back in the day, but they're longer. They're
Not
a
for
parliament
a
now.
not
It's
for
a
a very
figurehead.
long
it's good that
time.
they fixed that. Is what I'm
There's
saying.
still lords and dukes and shit in the UK.
It's so
they
wi-
just don't do anything.
and like the balls and like all the president. It's just so weird to me. It's the same as the
Yeah, because
Kardashians.
we're
I
not-
think they're weird.
The Kardashians will be considered the royalty here.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Would they
What do
not?
you mean?
They have so much
What do you
influence
mean?
and they're powerful and rich.
They
and
literally have
everywhere.
tons of influence.
Taylor Swift.
Unfortunately.
Taylor Swift is
like-
literally our queen right now.
Really?
Yeah. Whether you like it or not.
Not my queen.
Whether you like it or not,
Not
you're
my
along
queen.
for the ride.
She ain't
But like
mine.
that's
If
like
tomorrow,
international.
I don't
if
claim
tomorrow
that.
she wanted to like end hunger, she probably could. She could find a way.
But will she? No.
Oh, that now we're tripping into other territory.
I'm just saying it's all dumb and pointless. Everything. The
That's why they don't run anything
like
anymore.
celebrities, I think they're all dumb and pointless. I think fucking anybody with
I think the age of the influencer, the age of the celebrity is coming to a swift end.
wow,
and the
very
next-
good pun.
And then
Oh, you didn't mean to do that?
No.
Oh, I thought you were.
Taylor Swift.
oh.
Yeah. But either way, but
Um,
like
no, I didn't
especially
mean
the
to.
king queen stuff, because you're not like, at least celebrities here, right? They have a career. Some of them are talented. Some of them, but like to be a king, you just gotta be born and be a dude. Like,
Or have had a
Yeah.
ancestor that went in and conquered shit.
yeah, like that seems pretty fucking like pointless.
It's an age-old thing. It's
like-
something
Do
tales
you think
all the
that'll
time.
ever end?
No.
Damn, that's
Because as
wild.
long as there's people with money, there's people with influence, and they're always going to use that against people
Yeah.
who aren't.
and people in England, they like that shit, huh?
Depends. Not everybody does.
Oh.
There's some in the UK that hate the monarchy,
Oh.
and there are those who still respect it and love it. So it
That makes
depends on
sense.
who you speak to.
That makes sense. I mean, it is cool when they like swear somebody new in, and it's like
I
this
think-
whole
I
thing.
think there-
Oh, it's a
There's-
whole pageantry.
I
It
think
is
there's
co-
some
it is cool
there's some like dimension in the fact that like they have this very long-standing historical
history of
like,
it.
thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Versus like Americans don't really understand that because we have like 200 years of basically like most of it was war
True.
and being
Still is.
like mean to each other.
Still
Yeah,
is.
Yeah.
So I don't think we have the history that they do.
It is interesting, but I think that's why people like these books, because there's some sort of like cool. I think the history.
I
side of it.
like period pieces, but I like watching them.
Yeah.
I didn't hate this book. Like I'm not like against period books.
No.
Like I'm not.
No.
I just don't think I would. Honestly, I don't think I would pick one up and buy one again. Like this
No.
was $7.99 on Kindle. I think that's absolutely fucking outrageous.
Oh, I got mine
For
at the
any book.
library.
I did an
for
audio.
any book.
Yeah.
I want to return it. I shouldn't. But I want to.
well, you didn't
um,
read it, so you might as well.
I might as well.
No, you said you did.
Like
You better unmark it.
to me, if you read more than like 20% of a book, you should not return it. So
Well, that I agree with. Yeah.
So I want to fucking return it because I will never
I
pick
feel
it up again.
This is
I
why
wish
I,
I
made
could
sure.
gift it to somebody.
Do it. Oh, you
No,
can't.
she got it
can't.
through
Digital.
thingy.
Maybe I could. I
That's
don't know.
why I made
I
sure
think you
when
can.
we chose our books, like, 2 months ago?
Yeah.
I got it on the library. It was, like, on a hold. So the
Smart.
hold
I
came
probably should've
through.
done that.
I can't even speak because I didn't finish it. So obviously, I didn't mark it as finished. I'm not gonna rate it. But I think overall, the genre is just not for me, and that's fine.
Yeah, it's not a cup of tea.
Yeah.
But folks have asked.
But I'm not gonna talk shit about
Folks have asked us to cover historical romance or at least a historical fiction book.
I
This
hope
is
we
not
didn't.
historical fiction. I liked it.
it. Really?
I think it's fun. I like the genre, but I agree. I enjoy seeing it more on screen just because of the costumes and like the scenery.
yeah.
I love the language. I think it's like interesting how
That's a good point.
What?
So I think it's harder to read slightly because it's not your usual dialogue and
Mhm.
there's like a little bit like slightly different nuances in terms of like what you're seeing and reading, and like it's not your current day, so it's
Right.
like harder to
Mhm.
read in that
Mhm.
aspect. So, and especially with British stuff too, like I find it a lot easier to watch it on screen because you can see people's facial
Contextual
reactions.
clues.
You can see
Yeah.
like what's going on in the scene, and like I might not understand every word that they're saying, but I can figure it out.
Captions, baby.
I will say that I feel like this is more accessible than Jane Austen would be.
Yes.
Oh God, yeah.
It's so much more accessible.
Oh
like
God, yeah.
reading I have a hard time believing people enjoy reading Jane Austen.
I prefer
this
to
day of
listen to
age.
Jane Austen than
I want to
reading it
like read
physically.
just a paragraph to see.
Because I don't have a British
'Cause
voice.
it's
And the
hard.
British
I could
people can
guess.
say it best.
it's fucking
Yeah.
hard.
I can guess how
It's
hard. it is.
not written in the way that we usually
language
read stuff.
right now.
Yeah, like it just isn't. So it's harder. Your brain is working harder.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if we'll ever do another historical romance again, but I thought this was a fun one to get into because it has, at least, is not fully ingrained in that old way of thinking of where women had no rights. Women were just like you.
I think that was a cool
You looked
aspect.
at a woman the wrong way, and like you're forced to marry someone. Like
Yeah, because it was them actively trying to change that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, my one criticism of this book is should have been 50 pages more of pining.
I think it was a little. I think it was a little
You
long
wanted
in the
more
beginning. I think it had a lot of setup.
Yeah.
I think
Not 50 pages more of the book, 50 pages less there.
Got it.
Yeah,
more there.
yeah. I think it took too long to set up our character and
book.
who she is. I believed it from the start. Like from
Yeah.
chapter 1, I could tell she is a woman who wants to go and get an education, but she's forced to stay home and take care of things because she's just a woman.
Yep.
And she heads off, meets this one random duke, and they sort of have tension.
I even think the way that they like all their meetings, their romance, like all of this made sense. Like,
yeah,
he was attracted to her because she looked him in the eye.
She wasn't afraid of him. Yeah.
She wasn't afraid of him. She didn't really fucking
But then
know
she
any better,
immediately
like-
was afraid of him after she found out he was the Duke.
she was intimidated by him.
Yeah.
But she still like gave him shit. So
Yeah.
I
All
liked
right.
it.
It's that age-old woman
liked
in these
it.
books where just like against her own like better judgment, she's
Against his better judgment.
she's too mouthy. You know,
I liked
Fair.
it. I didn't love it. I wouldn't recommend it to
I would
anybody.
if you like historical romances. I would recommend it.
To anybody?
I
Period?
know. I just wouldn't like. If I don't like something that much, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
like recommend it myself. But
I agree with Maria. If you like historical romance,
Yeah,
then
I gave
pick
it a
up.
4.
Yeah.
It's if I'm being nitpicky, it's 3.75. But again, like it's fine.
nitpicky. It's nitpicky.
Well, that's bringing down the Duke. If you have any other recommendations, like Maria said, I don't know if we'll ever do another historical romance, but maybe if there's something that pops up,
people
that's like,
ask us for it all.
if
the
something
time.
comes up that's like really popping off and people are really into it, send it. Like, I mean, it's worth asking. I think.
I know we wanted to do a Fabio one,
That's not.
but it
happening.
didn't
Thank
work
God.
out
Thank
because we would have to be forced to purchase the physical copies, and we're not
Yeah,
gonna keep
no,
that.
no,
So,
no.
if you know of any that have Fabio on the cover,
I might
that
buy
are on the library.
No, I might buy one, and I might just during our break, might just give it to you.
Okay.
Oh, you guys want to just bop it off?
Like a sisterhood of the traveling
pants.
Fabio.
Okay,
I like that.
I'm down with that. Then find one, and then we'll go from there.
Or like maybe we each read a section.
And try to piece it all together. That's kind of
That's
fun.
kind of fun.
I like that.
Okay, and then we have to guess what happened in everyone's
Ooh.
different.
I'll take the end.
Yeah, I'm gonna give Kristen the end.
I'll take
All
the middle.
Okay, I'll
Perfect.
take the beginning.
Thank you so much, everybody. If that's something that's interesting you, let us know on Instagram. Just go over to books_and_Betches, BETCHES. Click the link in the link tree. You'll find our YouTube. You can watch our podcast, and don't forget to subscribe and follow us wherever you listen to your podcast. Thanks so much for being here, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye 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 bye.